Hey everyone, this is Patricia. Shelfie season is here and I want to just do a quick overview on how can you apply. This information is available on our shelf guide, so you can find the link here in the show notes, in the Slack, social media. Also, we do send reminders every beginning and mid of the month for you to apply with all the instructions, but here is a very quick overview. We have different categories by month. So let's say if you are a beauty or a supplement brand, you have to apply during February month. You have to submit the form and ship your products during this month, so February month. Send your products to 3 different addresses and make sure that they arrive by February. Once your month category is over, you cannot apply anymore, but you can check all the month categories again here on the show notes or on our emails, and any questions you can just send to community@startupcpg.com. Submissions will happen through February to May, and then around mid-August, we are gonna announce the finalists, and then mid-September is gonna be the announce of the winners. So even though you submit your product in February, you're just gonna hear about the finalists in August.
Stop the presses, it is officially Shelfie season. That's right, we're back with the 5th annual Shelfie Awards, the biggest free awards program in CPG, recognizing the best and the brightest early brands. Today, I've invited 2 of our Startup CPG Shelfie's judges, Patricia and Kiki, to talk all about the program. Why did we start it? How do we run it? Who is it right for? What can you get if you win? And just lots of tips for the brands who want to apply. I want to give a big thank you to our sponsors. We've got Mini Social. They connect brands with micro-influencers to post about you to their audience, and you get a bunch of UGC through it. Our friends at Sin7, the leading provider of inventory management software to CPG brands. Returning sponsor, Social Nature. Natural product brands can make offers to their over 1 million conscious shoppers to help you drive trial and velocity on shelf. And the epic Green Spoon Sales, who everyone knows is one of the most trusted national agencies for natural products. And with them, we've introduced a new Shelfies category, the Sustainability Shelfie. You're about to hear all about it. All right, let's get into it. Okay, Patricia, it is Shelfies season. Are you excited? Are you scared? How are you feeling?
I'm really excited and overwhelmed at the same time.
Okay, why?
Well, last year was our biggest Shelfie Award, and we got over 1,500 products shipped to our house. So at the same time, it's a very cool experience to see all the new brands, all the innovation in the industry, learn about the brands. It's also overwhelming to go through every single product, and that's what the team does, right? We really want to make sure that we read about the brand, understand their innovation, differentiation, and story. So I'm feeling both ways.
Okay, fair enough. All right, Kiki, break that down for us. What is it like to get 1,500 products? It's like, well, how many is that per day during the season? What does it feel like? Does your mailman hate you?
Our mail carriers definitely get to know us well. The postal service lady who delivers to my house, she's like, knows my dogs now. So she always brings 3 treats whenever she makes deliveries, which is nice. And even after the Shelfie, she still continues to do it. Like if she has to drop something off at my house and we're not home, she'll like still put like 3 dog bones on top of it. So you definitely get to know the people that are making deliveries. Oh my gosh, what does it look like? There were days where I was getting like 12 packages in a day. And it would be like, I'm not kidding you, like the postal service would come down the driveway, they'd leave. 10 minutes later, here comes FedEx, they leave. 5 minutes later, here comes UPS. And it's just like, they think that we have a shopping addiction because I told the postal lady towards the end, I was like, oh, this is almost over. Like, you won't be here every day. And she goes, oh, are you finally giving it up?
Are they cutting you off? Did the credit card max out? What's going on? All right, I can relate to that. Okay, cool. So yes, Shelfie season is a lot. It's very exciting. I think a lot of people out there are like, oh, that must be so fun to be a Shelfie's judge. You get all this product. Like, it is true. But I mean, honestly, how much can you actually use, right? And like, so yeah, we're like, and we also all hate wasting things personally. So it's really like we want to give a lot of thought to all the products and evaluate them, and also really try to waste as little as possible. Patricia, we have a lot of history with this. This is the 5th year that we are doing the Shelfies. It keeps growing every year. But take us back. Do you remember why we did the Shelfies in the first place?
Yeah, so we started in 2020 doing pitch programs. So it was during COVID. We had a box where we shipped to some buyers and media and distributors a box full of brands. But we were like, we can make this much better so we can involve all the new innovative CPG brands out there instead of just a few selected ones that apply for the pitch. And we're like, how can we get a higher reach and create a free award program for emerging brands? So we decided to make it free because this is our mission, to help brands for free. We have tons of retailers and media in our newsletter, involved in our community, that get to see who are the winners for the Shelfie Awards, so they can get exposure, they can get connections with them. And the whole goal was really to elevate the small guys.
I think that's right. And the free component means so much to me because the award programs can be impactful. Saying that you won one of these that's well recognized, it actually does matter for your business. It can set you apart when you're one of 100 brands emailing a certain buyer. The problem is it's really expensive when you're an early brand. You can apply for one of these programs, these award programs, and they might charge you $300 for the privilege of sending them in your product to consider for an award. And if you want to apply for more than one category, it might be double that, which is crazy. If you're an early brand, you don't have that budget, but you do need the recognition. And I can't tell you how many times when I was running a brand, I would just get some random out of the blue email from someone like, hey, you've been nominated for, Washington, D.C. business leader for your product. Do you want to pay $1,000 and you can have that award? It's craziness. And right. So, yeah, like you're saying, our mission is to do things for free for brands. And we figured this would be one of the biggest ways that we could do that, to recognize as many brands as possible. And, our goal is to do that. We want to have a lot of finalists. We want to have a lot of winners. We want to give you a big, obnoxious trophy to put on your booth. So people are like, what is that? You must be special. And, I think it really has become that, right? I mean, like, did you ever dream that that program would get so big, Patricia, when we started it?
No, never. I remember that the first year was more just like us really, how can we get more submissions and recognize more brands? And then we started to get more and more. Like last year, we got over 1,500 products. Even though we have new rules now that you can only submit up to 3 SKUs. If we didn't have that rule, I'm sure we'd get way more.
Yes, I really appreciate why buyers have certain restrictions on what kind of samples you can send them now, because yes, it's a lot. Okay, so let's go through what actually happens when we receive products, because it probably feels like a black box to a lot of brands. Like, hey, I sent in my products during the submission window and then I just didn't really hear anything. What happened? Kiki, can you take us through on our side? Okay, from the point where you actually get the package, what are we doing?
Yeah, so once we get the packages, we go through everything. We taste it, we try it, we look at the ingredients. We have weekly meetings where the judges get together and we talk about the products, what we thought about it, go through the ingredients. We look at your website, your branding, the packaging. We read your brand story. And then another big component of something that we consider when breaking down, who do we think is going to make it to into the finalist categories and who ultimately ends up being a winner, is we really have to dig deep past just the taste and the ingredients and look at who's being innovative, who's trying new things, who maybe has a cool social cause, and ultimately who is really trying to improve the CPG system overall. So we take a lot of things into consideration during the judging process to make sure that we're really highlighting the best of the best.
And Kiki, what would you say to a brand that does not win, that still feels very confident in their product and is like, hey, Startup CPG team, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know a good product when you see it, which does happen to us, by the way. Kiki, what would you say to those brands?
Yeah, we do get that. I mean, I would say you just have to be mindful of the competition and who else is out there. We looked at over 1,500 products last year. It's our 5th year doing it. We're constantly seeing what's going on in the industry and the space. So there are a lot of really good products out there, and it's really hard to narrow it down and make those decisions. And like I said, at the end of the day, oftentimes those tiebreakers really comes down to the fine details. So you probably do have a really great product, but someone else just had one that was a little bit better.
Okay. Kiki gives it to us straight, which I appreciate. I would also add to maybe just soften the blow for everybody. This is our opinion, right? And, we are here doing this program because we want to help as many brands as possible, but we do have to make some choices, and we are all using our personal taste, our collective experience, a lot of data points, a lot of what we're seeing to make these decisions. There do have to be winners. And we do want to make sure that we can provide a lot of support to the brands we think that have the best chance of making it. But please remember that we are here to support all of you. Even if you don't win, we still want to give you opportunities to sample. And we hope you prove us wrong and make it really big. And probably a lot of you will. This is just one awards program that happens during the year. I, as a brand, would lose way more of these than I would win, for sure. So, I know none of you are just going to get discouraged by that. And definitely, please, say some curse words about us under your breath and keep going, and then get those big wins and get all that consumer adoption. Patricia, what do you think? Fair?
Fair. I also want to add that you mentioned that it's like our taste. Whenever I get products, I get tons of my friends to come. I have invited buyers before to come, and we do like 3 hours tasting. So I do get the team has done that too, but we do get opinions from outside. It's not just 3 people trying our product. We have people coming over, we have dogs, we have babies, we have many people.
For those categories, we have dogs and babies, yeah. Not just for fun,
Yeah, sorry, I should have said that. But what I want to say is that we bring other people from the CPG industry and try a product, or our families and friends, to see what else do people like. Because I know I'm specific and I like very healthy, clean, gluten-free things. So, and I'm not a spicy girl, so I do have to give some my condiments that are hot sauce for people that are around me to try. So we want to be fair with your guys' product, but also remember that we are a very small team. We have other things that we do besides the Shelfies. So even though you don't receive a notification that your product got delivered, because we do not send those out, but best way to track is with your tracking number. You can email us at community@Startup CPG with any questions. But just remember, we are also a very small team.
Yes, thank you. I think that's a good reminder. I just pro tip to brands, emailing us a bunch of times to ask if we got it. We got it. If you sent it, we got it. That's a good way to think about it. If you sent it and then UPS does not tell you that it got lost, we did get it, and we will get around to it. But yes, this is not your full-time job is not Shelfie's Judge. It is doing tons of support for the community, organizing sections and social media, both of you, all of this stuff. And so, yeah, it's, we basically do the best that we can. And it's also, the Shelfies for us is a really important way for us to get to know the brands in the community. And, the Shelfies is kind of meant to find the best of emerging brands, but also this is how we get to know you, because we have so many opportunities throughout the course of the year. We have sampling opportunities at events that we do that buyers are at, right? We have the backpack brands who get to come and demo at our Alley Rally party at Expo West. We have sections that brands are applying for at Newtopia and Expo. And I will say, more often than not, if we haven't had any experience with your brand, it's going to be harder for us to evaluate you. The best way is, hey, we've had that product, they submitted for the Shelfies, and now we consider them for more opportunities. Or when we're looking to do coverage with Caitlin, our editor, for different opportunities or affinity months or different product categories, we've had the product, we know we liked it, we know that this is a brand that participates in the community, which is another filter for how we look for, because we do want to help the brands that invest in the community. Our programs and opportunities are not just for anybody out there that wants to take advantage. We really believe in supporting the people who are part of the fabric of what we try to do and help support others in the community as well. So I've seen some really great uses of the shelfies also. I think like, let's say the first year that we did this 5 years ago, it was like, let's do this. Okay, we did it. Like that was cool. I hope it was helpful to people. But now, man, it means a lot in the industry, which I think is super beautiful. And last year we were able to have a boat party to celebrate the shelfies. So we were in the marina in Los Angeles. We got on a 150-person yacht. We were able to give out a lot of the awards there, take some beautiful sunset photos. But, you know, now when we walk around a show, we see a lot of our Shelfies trophies sitting on brand booths. Even yesterday, we did a social media post highlighting one of the winners last year, which was 18 Chestnuts. And I saw one of the buyers from Woodlands Market commented and say, hey, I need that in my shelf. What's going on? Please connect me. And we did that. And now they're going to get on shelf, which is incredible. What have you guys seen the output of the Shelfies been? Have you seen people using them? Have you seen distribution deals happen, Patricia?
Yeah. Whenever we announce some of the winners before via email, we got a few buyers or media saying, hey, can you connect with so and so because, you know, they like the product. I also seen people using the icon that we share as a winner on their email signature. I've also seen that icon on their website or like as seen on Startup CPG, Shelfie winner. And then brands came to me already mentioning how they had conversation starters with some retailers because they said they were Startup CPG Shelfie winner or finalist, and the retailers already know about us now. And they were like, oh, this is cool. Let me pay attention to what you have to say. But Kiki, what have you seen on the social media side or any other aspects?
I mean, yeah, I've seen a lot of similar things that you mentioned. Brands get really excited about it, like to be a finalist and to be a winner. Like brands are posting about us, resharing it. Like they get really, really excited, which makes me happy. It's like fun to see. And a lot of times this is the first award that a brand has ever won. So it's very exciting for them and kind of makes them feel like, okay, like I'm onto something, and it just kind of like revs them back up, which is really exciting to see. And I've also had buyers be like, you know, what do you think about this brand? Like, should I meet with them? And I'll be like, oh, they were actually a Shelfies finalist. And they'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, then I'm definitely going to like email them and like link up with them. So, you know, brands get excited about it. And I've noticed that like other people in the industry and retailers, like they're starting to take notice. Like they know like what the Shelfies Awards are. And, you know, they're kind of beginning to like trust like our judgment, like, oh, okay, like Startup CPG like made them a finalist. Like it must be good. So I should probably have a meeting with those guys.
I love that. And I mean, let's be honest. Is there anything that we like more when we hear a brand somewhere on stage introducing themselves as we are Shelfie Award winning, right? Best ever. We love that. That gives us tons of energy. And yeah, we love seeing the trophy on people's booths. And I also really love what you said, Kiki, about we like to be the first award that you get. That is so much about why we started this whole organization in general. Is like we want to give you your first media coverage, your first awards. We don't want those kinds of things to be inaccessible, and we want this to help you get other awards and other media coverage in the industry because we have in some way helped legitimize you through this, and we know how hard it is to get that kind of stuff in the industry. So believe me, we are trying to just give out as much recognition as possible with the platform that we have created, and we love to do it, and we love seeing that excitement. I think that is one of the best days is when people actually receive the Shelfie Awards sent to their house, and just we start seeing the unboxing videos and the smiling faces. And the other, I think for me, is when we do our live awards program for the Shelfies. So we do this on LinkedIn, and Patricia, maybe you can talk about it.
Yeah, we do it LinkedIn Live because we have, you know, brands from all around the US. And we also actually have submissions from outside of the country now, which is pretty cool. So we have people from all around the world watching the live to learn about the finalists, the winners, you know, who are the winners too. But it's just so cool to see everyone in the chat, like, excited about who is the winner, and they're like, oh, I need this product, check their website. So I hope one day we can have a whole studio where we can like have the entire team and do like a live from there. But it's just so cool to see the CPG community celebrating each other and being happy about your friend, your CPG founder, like what they're achieving.
Yes, there's nothing like the love that you see during the comments section during one of our LinkedIn Live Shelfie Awards. I think last time we had 800 comments during the live, which was all people just celebrating the winners. Everybody was a really good sport about it. I love that. That's just one of the best times of the year for me. So let's get into some tactical tips, right? Because we get all these products. It's not just about the product. Okay, let's say like, hey, at this point, you either have the right product or you don't. But it's specifically about people sending the product. What are some things that you guys appreciate when they're sent to you, and how people present them to you? What are some things that you're like, well, I kind of wish they hadn't done that? Let's be real deal about this. So Kiki, do you want to go first?
Sure, I guess I will go first. Let's see. Things that I super appreciate is don't send us entire boxes and like flats of your product. Like just send like 1 to 3 things. We super appreciate that. Like we said, we're getting a ton of packages and a ton of items. So to reduce waste as much as possible, even if I love your product, I'm probably not going to eat 6 boxes of it. So just send me 1.
Unless it's Piedmont pennies, and then we want all of them.
Yeah, if it's Piedmont pennies, go ahead. That's so true. They're so addicting. Something I really appreciate is whenever brands put like their marketing material in the package. So like, a little thing talking about their brand, their story, their product, like whatever you would normally give to like a buyer or something like that can be helpful. So I can learn more about the product before I open the box and like dig into it. That's really helpful. Something that I would recommend against doing is sending swag. Sorry, but I like I said, we get so much stuff. Like, thank you so much for sending me a t-shirt or a pair of socks or whatever, but I don't need it. So leave that out of the box. I know it's tempting to, because I know you have so much good stuff. And also like, if you're saying to an influencer, like, yeah, influencer package, go for it. But we don't need that.
That's no joke. Kiki, with the hard hitting truths, I also hate getting swag. I actually like, I'm not going to put it into my regular rotation. I just kind of have the stuff that I have. So I really agree with you. It doesn't make me upset when we get it, but I do hate the idea of just wasting so much stuff. Like, I'm probably not going to use the stickers, let's be honest. And I'm not going to like wear the shirt or the hat. Like I have this hat, obviously, that I wear that says CPG. That's the hat that I wear.
No, I would just say overall, just cut and dry. Just send your product and about your brand. And that's all we need.
All right. Patricia, what about you?
I have to say that some swags are really good.
I have to disagree point counterpoint. What swag do you like? What swag do you not like?
So we got a necessaire, like a little pouch that I use all the time for like my makeup. Some brands that they have. I think there was like a milk powder. They sent that like thing that you mix.
The frother.
Yeah, that I use all the time.
I know what you're saying, but I've been sent like 10 frothers, and I don't really even froth, but I do have one of those from the 10 that I've been sent.
Yeah, I don't use stickers, I'll tell you that. But there are some swags that if they are cute, I'm gonna use. Like I see some brands, they have like a very cute t-shirt. I'll wear that. So It has to have a cute, it's not just your brand logo, it has to be something cute.
I sort of will like cheekily ask for something if there's a piece of swag that I wanted. Like, I wanted one of the Happy Candy pink hats honestly, because my mom wanted it. She saw it and she's like, I would like to wear that hat. So Maxie and I did a little trade of some swag so that I could get that for my mom. But yeah.
Yeah, I saw the like, I think it was like a sweater from Milkish. If you're listening to this, just send me your swag. It's so cute. I'm going to wear it all the time.
And if we get it, we'll try to feature it. I think that's another thing that I just really want to highlight for people. We take the responsibility of getting samples very seriously, because I know as a brand what it's like to pay for the product that you have to then pay for the shipping to send to somebody, and then it being a black hole and maybe you don't get anything out of that opportunity. It sucks. And we're not here to be part of the it sucks experience of CPG. We're here to be part of the we help you thing and make the whole thing better. And so we do try to feature every single product that is sent to us in at least like an Instagram story. we can't do posts about everything. Not everyone's going to get an award, but we do try to make sure that everybody at least gets something out of it. And because we do have Instagram with 27,000 followers, I think today, that is something that we'll try to do. And, Patricia, Kiki, and the team are good at doing that. So we will try to make it lovely as well. But just please understand, we do want to try to help as many of you as possible, even though not everybody can win. I'll add just on the tips for sending samples and everything. I know it's not always possible. I do appreciate when people send a note. And I wouldn't even always necessarily pore over the note and really read it so carefully. But just the same way, I think I really just appreciate when people send a thank you note after an interview, just kind of check or not check. Did they do that or not do it? It does just make the whole experience feel more personal. And you cannot deny the importance of relationships in this business overall. People are just never going to, sorry, I just dropped something. Clap that up. People are never just going to evaluate a product in isolation. Kiki talked about that before. We're also looking at the founder behind the product. Do they have that same passion? Does that run through into the product? We want to see overall the mission, which does course through every part of the business. And so when there is a note, it does remind us of that personal touch of it, makes it feel like this is something, it's a project that's even more important to the founder. I'm not just getting, a Shopify box sent to me. And I know it can be tough, right? Because a lot of people fulfill out of 3PLs where they don't have the opportunity to even put a printed note in it, which is not a great look, by the way. But yeah, maybe you could even just explore another option hey, I'm sending the materials to you guys or to a buyer whenever through my 3PL, but maybe think about just sending them a handwritten postcard. Hey, the product's coming separately. I just want to say thanks a lot for looking at this. It will help you guys, not just with us, but overall to have that personal touch. What do you think, Patricia? Am I talking crazy here?
No, I think that's important because, at the end of the day, we are human. We were trying to do our best to feature you guys, to highlight the brand. So it's nice to think that they appreciate also what we are doing. But here is another tip. If you don't have your final packaging that is going to sit on a shelf or you're going to sell to the customers like that. So you just create your product, right? And you were just in this bottle just with a sticker of what's inside. You're not going to be considered for the shelfies. You have to have your final packaging. It doesn't need to be the most beautiful, packaging, but it should be a packaging that at least you're going to sell to a customer. So that's an important thing.
Yes. Don't send us a plastic baggie full of something. It will be a weird impression. The same way you wouldn't do that to a buyer. I know as a founder, you're but I'm working on this thing. I just want to get your thoughts on it. I really want you to know about it. That actually is okay. You could even send that and be this is not for this year's awards. I know. I just want you guys to be aware of the product because it's going to be launching and I want to just kind of be on your radar. And here's when I'm going to actually have samples, So yes, I totally agree. Wait till next year. We'll be doing this every year. I hope forever. Until AI takes all of our jobs over and does it for us. But, they'll be ready for that too. So but I totally agree with that. And I think also it, just not just with us, but in general, it is kind of cool to know a little bit about the people receiving your product. So hopefully things like this podcast helps you understand that. But, here is a little cheat sheet. Patricia really loves beauty products for sure. She will evaluate them very carefully. She likes swag related to beauty products also, obviously. Patricia also is gluten-free, and so she has a special place in her heart for the gluten-free products. Kiki loves corgis. Kiki loves dogs. Kiki is our main go-to, especially on the pet category. Just because she does a really thoughtful deep dive on all pet products, which not everybody can do. Patty and I don't usually eat all the dog treats and everything that we get. So Kiki's corgis are also unofficial Shelfie judges. And then we have Caitlin, who is our new editor, who will be a Shelfie's judge this year. And Caitlin really likes avoiding things with added sugar. She is really big on plants in general throughout all food. She's not vegan, but she really does love plants. You can hear all about it on the episode with her that's about meeting the new editor that dropped end of January on our podcast. What do you guys think? Any other tips about judges?
Yeah, I'd say Caitlin is also a mom. So she will be evaluating a lot of the baby products.
Now, it sounds like then the plant-based category might be judged very well this year because Caitlin's into plants and I've been veg for 10 years. So that's another place that I really pay attention to. Also, alcohol and any beverages as my background. I was a bartender for a very long time, so I like seeing those things. And there's a lot of innovation in the NA category, which I'm very excited to see this year.
Yes, and these are all good tips. And although I personally am not a Shelfie's judge, I do get involved in the beverage category just because I can't help myself as a former beverage CEO. I do like to get in on this. I want to know what all the beverages are. I want to try all the new innovation and get to weigh in on some of that. So probably any of the beverage founders out there know that I do take an interest, especially in the beverage brands, just because I can relate to it so much. So, okay, now what we've covered is about the judging process, about people sending in Shelfies, what we look for when we're evaluating brands for the Shelfies, what some of the cool things you get out of it are. I'll also highlight that we will have some pretty major prizes for the Shelfies on behalf of some of the sponsors that we have this year. So I'm really excited about that. We also have a brand new category for the Shelfies this year, which is thanks to our partners at Green Spoon. We'll have a sustainability Shelfie Award, which will span across all the other Shelfie categories. So you don't submit for it specifically. It'll just be part of when you're submitting, you can say what you're doing in terms of sustainability, and the Green Spoon team will help us to then award a winner in that category. So really excited for that one. So maybe to wrap this up, what do you think you've seen some of the most exciting brands who won Shelfies in past years go on to do? Can you guys think of any brands who won a Shelfie early on and you just were incredibly excited to see their trajectory? And I'll start by maybe dropping one that I'm pretty pumped about. So Nowhere Bakery, they were selected as a backpack brand with us. They won a Shelfie Award with us. I know actually at the Alley Rally, we're able to meet Azure Standard, which is one of our favorite distributor partners, who then picked them up for distribution. So they've really gotten a lot through us. Of course, they also got onto Shark Tank and did really well there. So just really exciting to see their overall trajectory, and just that we were able to recognize them with a Shelfie during that amazing trajectory that they had. So, just really proud of that one. And I mean, just if you've ever tasted it, you know what we're talking about. Everybody here loves their products, and they're just such wonderful founders as well. Any particular brands that you guys remember has gotten a Shelfie and you've just seen them kind of go nuts and get some crazy stuff? Patricia?
Well, you took mine.
Gotcha. I know that's one of your favorites.
Oh, I mean, I have some of the brands that it really stood out to me because they have like DME, or I have seen them using the shelf. I've seen them use the trophy during trade shows, and they were like, this is such a great conversation starter. Some of them were, I think it was House of Kajana was telling me that being a Shelfie winner, they got to talk to Whole Foods. They are selling at Whole Foods now. So that's very cool to see how, again, we do have buyers that are in our email newsletter and involved with us. So it can definitely like help you to get in front of great retailers.
Yes, we have a lot of them. We have a very large list of retailers that like to stay tuned about what's going on with us, and we certainly know how to leverage them to make sure that they understand when we're saying, hey, here are some awesome brands out there, you need to check them out. I also, for last year's Shelfie winners, we were able to put them all into our Shopify store. So if you actually go to startupcpg.com and click on shop, you will see all of the 100 finalists and the winners on there, which I'll tell you candidly, when buyers, I just had a buyer from one of the top retailers in the country. I had a call with him today, and he said, can you just send me some of the brands that you guys work with? And I said, look, here's the list of all the Shelfies winners and finalists from last year. That's really representative of who's in our community. So you definitely get a lot of extra recognition that way, which is cool. Kiki, any brand that you want to call out?
Sure, yeah. There's a couple that come to mind. I think some brands that I've seen like really take off in the last couple of years, whether it be from being a finalist or a winners in the Shelfies, probably an early winner, maybe 2022. Don't quote me. I might have my years off, but Cocoa Foods, I think they were like an early one that we recognized. They seem to be doing really, really great. Funky Mellow is like blowing up. They're doing awesome. They have an amazing product. The most recent one for me, and I know we're all big fans, and every time we see them, they're just like killing it and doing great, is Paioa. They were a winner last year in the Shelfies, and I think every time that I've seen them since, like at every trade show, like there's always a crowd around them. I mean, they have amazing pizza. It's really, really good. So people are just going there to get pizza, but there are a lot of buyers and media and just like important people in the industry that are just always hovering around them. They just won the Fancy Face Off at the Fancy Food Show. Like they're really doing great things. So, it makes me happy to see that.
I love it. I love it so much. And I really love each of those brands that you just mentioned. Cocoa, even actually specifically, they came up on a call that I had with a distributor the other day that said, hey, we're having a really tough time finding healthy products for babies. Who do you know? And I was like, well, there is a Shelfie winner that actually is doing that. And I was able to connect them, which was really wonderful. And Funky Mellow, I feel like that one, everybody was just racing to recognize them because everyone loves them so much. And so, they won an award from us. They won a bunch of other awards around the same time, and they're just having such a great time and bringing such cool products out into the world. So we love them. And Paioa, yes, that's, speaking of just being able to recognize people really early on, I think that's, somebody from our community that we identified as just having a really tremendous product and team pretty early on. I know they were able to get meetings through us, like with the central market team, and just get lots of cool stuff with us. And then, yes, that was so good to see them win the Fancy Face Off at the Las Vegas show. So they are really coming into their own, and we are really excited also that they will be catering the 5-year Slackiversary party that we're having in March in LA at the Leisure Hydration House. So we'll all get to have Paioa. You don't have to wait in the line for their booth at the show. You can just have it. We're going to have tons of it. It's going to be delicious. You can have as much miso eggplant as your heart desires, unless you're gluten-free, Patty. But everybody else can have it.
Wait. They are going to have gluten-free options. This is going to be my first time ever experience their pizza. And I'm just like, I'm way too excited for this.
That's so good. Oh my gosh. So it's overall, it's just really amazing. And I think, the thing that I just want to highlight again here is this is how we meet so many of you. We love meeting you on Slack and just being able to help, but this is how we really get to know your brands, your products, the people behind them. And if you're following us on Instagram, you see we do a lot of store visits where we go into the tastemaker retailers around the country. We go spend time in the stores and try to see as many brands from our community as we can recognize in the stores. The way we do that is through the Shelfies, because then we see the product. And so when we're looking in a store that might have 100,000 SKUs in it, the ones that catch our eyes are the ones that we've seen at home, that we've had a chance to interact with, that we've seen at the shows. So, I would say maybe final word to everybody is just, please participate in the program. A lot of people are not going to win this program. That's the odds of kind of any program, but we are just constantly looking for ways to help you and feature you. And, like we do, each of us does end up with a couple products that we love, probably especially because it speaks to something within us, but we are genuinely rooting for all of you. Really, like if, me, Kiki, Patty, Caitlin, everybody on our team, there are a lot of other things that we could be doing with our lives. We choose to do this because we each have a really strong passion for helping to improve the CPG ecosystem, for sure, helping promote products that we think are doing a good job. But I would say the deepest part of it is our love for helping you guys out there, the people behind the products. That is the thing that actually really gets all of us excited about these programs and all of the work that we do. So please just remember that even if you don't win, and we will be out there working tirelessly, just trying to think of ways that we can help you in everything that we do. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast. If you loved it, I would so appreciate it if you could leave us a review. You could do it right now. If you're an Apple Podcast, you can scroll to the bottom of our Startup CPG podcast page and click on Write a Review. Leave your company name in there. I will try to read it out. If you're in Spotify, you can click on About and then the star rating icon. If you are a service provider that would like to appear on the Startup CPG podcast, you can email us at partnerships@startupcpg.com. Lastly, if you found yourself grooving along to the music, it is my band. You can visit our website and listen to more. It is superfantastics.com. Thank you, everybody. See you next time.